the first chapter, which was more about the Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva Guna. And the first chapter is this Saptasathi is all talking about the Tamas Guna. And then the Tamas Guna is dark. The dark is in the form of laziness, or it is manifesting as in the form of being too engrossed in materialistic pursuits and materialistic world, whatever that means, and then complacency to take any action. So we will be deluded with this me, mine, or a state of complacency where I neither have any goals, neither it doesn't mean my life is bad, but I'm not looking at anything that is into getting into self inquiry, self reflection about my being. So that's the start of number one. When the Vishnu slays the Madhu and Kaitabha, who are fully, firstly, pulled towards ruling the entire world, because when it was all water, so they thought, okay, we can become the rulers of this whole world. That was the first attraction with which they thought, the only person I'm seeing is Brahma, so let me slay him. And once I just kill him, then I think I am. So the moment he kills, that means what? The madhu, the attraction towards fruit, which is the kaitaba is the bee and the madhu is the fruit, which is the honey. So when Vishnu, uh, from the Vishnu's Brukati comes Mahakali, who slays this running after nature, that or the the complacency to enjoy the fruits, the attraction or the attachment towards um, enjoying the fruits of materialistic life without having any um, inclination towards spirituality or any acts related with spiritual nature. So that is what gets killed in the when the Madhu and Kaitab is being killed by Lord Vishnu. Only when we stop running after things, that is where we our spiritual journey starts. That's what it's been told everywhere. And the meaning, I should give permission to myself to self inquire, ponder on certain things, why they are so, and is there a reason behind that unworkability, even if it is uh, so there is a very high chance to uh, confuse between complacency to self acceptance. So complacency is, I know I need to work on certain things, but since my life is working well, I'm gonna be okay with it. I'm not gonna take rapid actions to work on that part which is not working. It is the rest of the things are going good. Why to ruffle the feathers of that? So just let it stay. Self acceptance is, there are certain things in my life which happens as part of my spiritual evolution, or the people around me, where or it is even certain things that are a weakness. It may show up as signal of I'm not good there. So the first element of growth starts when I can accept that, yes, this is who it is, this is who I am, and is there something I can change about it? Because there are certain things in life where we can't change certain things, or it takes artificial means to change it. For example, our skin color or height, the people whom I'm married to, my in-laws, my family, the internal family. Uh, my my son might be working very hard. My son or my daughter, they might be very working very hard, but that is what they're getting. So there is a certain level of acceptance that's required, even to look at, okay, this is my start point. From here, where do I go? How do I? So if I accept that mistake or the part of my being as complete without feeling inferior or clouded by feelings of non tolerance and judgment, only then my journey to the better me starts. So self acceptance and complacency are two different sides of the coin, though it might appear that both are same. So the is it making sense what I'm saying? Is it
Yes,
making
Uma. Yes.
so that is what we need to look into when we are talking about this chapter, where I am allowing myself to the complacency or procrastination or not having goal orientedness, or even if someone, the whole world may be saying, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. You will see it in front of your people also. Hey, why do you do like this? Why can't you do like this? It doesn't even appear to be a good, fair advice. Um, People will get very angry. Why don't you bother yourself? Why you want to be always advising? So these kind of things also people say. So identifying the tamas gunam is not just with myself, it can also be in others. Where I know today, um, the nature of advice. So any advice that is not given without being asked is waste. So even if some people, you are rich with knowledge, you've been there, done that 1 lakh times, and you are rich with that expertise on how to deal with that particular scenario situation, not just at the wisdom level, but at the being level, and you know your dear one or near one is going through a very huge pain, which exactly you have an answer, you might want to ask, do you want to hear out my point of view? And only if you hear an S, there's a way to give an answer. Without they having that acceptance towards a particular corrective action or what needs to be done, if we are going ahead and giving our gyan, it looks like we are intruding their life. They're not gonna take that seriously. So once you know that they are not in a state to listen, the non-spiritual person may get into the states of anger, um, or maybe states of why are you like this, why can't you hear, and all such kind of sentimental stuff, which is leaving you bad taste. The actual the underneath current is that you want to help that person, but because that person is not ready, you're getting frustrated. Okay, but what is the underneath emotion behind this frustration? It is definitely fear that what can go wrong with that person if we take this thread. But we don't tell that to that person, but we always show the primary emotion of frustration. And the good thing to do by listening to this Saptasati first chapter is to understand he is clouded by tamas. And what we can at most, when will the tamas guna go? When that Mahamaya goes. And there are two ways how the Mahamaya goes away. Either some divine intervention has to happen, or there should be some action. There should be somebody whom divine intervention is number one, and the divine intervention happen. Either self inquiry can start, or God may send someone in their life to talk to them in a way that makes sense for them. So all we can pray is bless, bless little more, and bless more, 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 so that God intervention can happen. What is in you for you doing it? Always life is not what's in for me. And when you do certain things without expectations, as such as blessing, you're not you're not wasting any of your spiritual energy, the one which you have carefully acquired by doing all these sadhanas, but you're enhancing it. The inner light is getting more shined when you do things for others without any expectation, or um, you're expected to do two, but you go ahead and do four, not coming from the space of trying to impress, but genuinely caring about that person. So that's where empathy sets in. So when you can be that person for the other person who genuinely cares for that individual's well-being and genuinely accept that person as what he's or she is dealing with, as something which That person may be clouded by Maya, but is struggling. Instead of trivializing their efforts, trivializing their pain, if we can acknowledge that pain with a touch of self acceptance and maybe give them listening. In listening, they can transform. Secondly, asking them, do they need some kind of piece of advice? If they say yes, share it with an expectation that they have every right to not follow what you have said. So, giving your advice, giving them a means is what you are you're permitted to do. But whatever you have given is not something they're not able to take it. Perhaps that advice is not something acceptable for their condition. It was for your condition, but the same advice it may not work for them. That's why reason they are not accepting. So you may want to be a little more tolerant and work with them. Have a openness to have a conversation on what might work for you. Do you think this? Do you think that? So that is where that relationship transforms. So this is the whole sphere of chapter 1, which is more about helping yourself getting out of tamas gunam and helping others to accept that today they are clouded by tamas. So let me be patient. Let me not get frustrated with their idiocracies or ideologies, which is very different from what I believe. When the time is right, divine intervention will happen for them. Till then, I'll pray. I'll pray that may that God be very gentle in teaching that life lesson for that particular person. Okay. Now that's the end of chapter 1, but begin of getting into the next guna, which is rajas. See, sattva guna is very sweet, non-prideful, more into knowledge assimilation without any kind of things that cloud us. But when you look at this rajas, it is like a middle. So anything middle is like say a middle child. He gets some portion of being sometimes elderly, so he gets to play a elderly role sometimes, but he is sometimes uh, also pampered as a younger one by his brother, so he gets both the worlds. So like that, in this rajas guna, where we are transforming ourselves from tamas to rajas. So if you have tamas as a gray scale of say 0 to 100, so slowly as our awareness sets in, that acceptance that, oh, looks like there is something going wrong in my life, or maybe something I'm not taking enough action, or something I need little more push, that kind of opening starts. So that is from 0 to 10. So 0 to 100 slowly starts to a place where I say, I think I need to look into this under a microscopic view. I need to put spotlight on it. I need to focus on these things. I need to take action on these things. That need to or beginning of certain things is your 100 scale of your tamas guna coming down. Now, mm, but from there starts your rajas. Again, it starts with 0 to 100, just for our sake of discussion. If you want to be on an accurate scale, maybe 33, 33, 33, or and a quarter here and there, maybe that may be another way of representation. But this feels good because when you're leaning towards 0 and then going into the tamas, because sometimes when you are in the rajas scale, you shows again very high some signs of tamas in certain place, and some places you are superly on the sattva guna. So what is one sphere there? If you look at in the tamas sphere, what is the things that bind you? It could be complacency or laziness or a darkness, too much attracted to the material world. If this is the world of tamas, and he can do anything to that get there, okay, running, fame, success, wealth, status, social standing, good or bad doesn't matter. Is it aligned with my spiritual goals or not doesn't matter. I'm just like any other person. So the whole world, many people are in this, in these gunas. If you see them, if you can identify. Now, uh, the next for us is our rajas, which is the whole system is pride. What takes over this section of being in the rajas gunam is pride. So always I am moving into the, as my awareness is moving, as I'm getting more clarity and light on certain elements, I start getting into this sense of I know, I know to do things. I'm good. I don't think so. Uh, while with this delusion of me clouded by rajas, I'm not in the complete darkness. I'm not deluded by the physical world and running after its objects. I'm 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 open to change, but I'm not always in that space. I'm unstable. Just like a small child who is learning to run or walk. Sometimes he falls, sometimes he's walking. That is the state of rajas where I'm always in the mode of uh, instability. And how does from that instability I move towards stability, towards sattva guna is the journey of chapter 2, 3, which is still Madhyama Charitra. So, what does Vrishabha, the bull, signify? The signify is strength, excellence. So, the moment some people, some of us, when we understand, oh, this is what is the thing I have to do. What I can do, I can go all out in either acquiring that knowledge or getting to a space of strength or excellence in that. So the moment I come to a state of excellence or being top among that lot, what happens is pride will set in, saying, because as a person who thinks, okay, I need to learn this. I I'm getting more aware about myself, my level of sadhana, my because of the sadhana I'm doing in the spiritual journey. Some other things might open up, some other kinds of uh, mm, siddhis, powers, or more clarity can emerge in certain areas where we were clouded earlier or deluded earlier. Because of that, you might get into the next level of band in life. I would not say that I'm not measuring this band in in terms of your social standing or money or relationships, but at a mental level, emotional level, at spiritual experiences level, you are getting aware. Oh, looks like this is what my path is, or looks like this is my mission is, or looks like this is where I need to do my more sadhana. Okay, this is what I think is my path. So as these things come, all this kind of self-importance about who I am, or the pride that this is who I am, that is what sets in. And when Mahishasura took on all the belongings of Indra, Varuna, and all other gods, all of these people, they went and complained to the Trimurtis, saying, all this is being taken away. They took our spiritual essence, spiritual energy. They started ruling our worlds, and this is what is being given to us as our territories, our thing. But all is being taken away. So from that anger of Trimurtis comes a light, and from that light is what this Maya is born. That's what we hear in the second and third chapters. And each of the gods, like say Vishnu, he has contributed in her shoulders, or the essence or Agni Tattva has helped him to get her eyes and stuff like that. But then, if you look at from an uh, Devi Suktam, that kind of stances. She is never born in a womb. That's what is always been highlighted. So she's always there. And as part of her cosmic creation, she has taken, chipped out certain parts from her body and give it to that energy as a particular form, shape, and given some kind of duty to that person. So in the second and third chapter, wherever you see these people have given these tools, these people have given their body parts, all that is a mirror. Actually, what is her part in creating that particular form? So they are giving that particular form back to her in terms of reuniting that cosmic energy in order for the bigger, larger play. So when this chip of things has happened from each god, so there are multiple demons that get created. So with their fighting, okay, there are the demons names are like Chikshasura, Chamara, Utkara, Mahahanu, Asiloma. So this all we see in the second and third chapters as the generals who are Mahishasura Duta Sainyam. Okay, Mahishasura Sainyam, second chapter. So in that we have these names of the people. So what does each of these asuras stand? Is this Chikshasura is something which is having lack of knowledge. So please kindly understand what is, just don't take it as something which is theory, but also it's a place like there is one area in my life which I think I'm struggling, and because I have crossed my tamas places, at least in one area in your life that you are wanting to work on, and look at how this asuras play. Okay, so I want to now transform myself from tamas. I newly graduated from tamas to rajas, and on my journey towards sattva, where I have lot of clarity, lot of focus, and peace in that space. Meaning, when I get peace, when I know that I have overcome that problem or overcome that phase which is troubling me. So, what all can stop me from getting into spaces of knowledge, peace, and winning over that particular element can be um, incomplete knowledge. I don't have what to do, or I have certain pieces that are not sitting together for me to get to the space of completion, or I getting uh, satisfied that, oh, if I take this path in 100% way, I think things start will work. There will be always this trial and error kind of thought process where I go, I try out, and then so this journey of taking new baby steps because of lack of complete or lack of uh, dedication, focus in my actions. I may take two actions and then I can stop. Again, I can start, I can stop, I can start, I can stop. So I'm not being continual in my pursuits towards something that I opened. Okay. Earlier, the difference is like a bull, I'm just focusing on only running. There is no plan, there is no sitting back and trying to take corrective actions or actions that can lead into progress. If this is not working, I'm trying this. If this is not working, so I'm running. Why? To get that material pursuit, which is Madhu, enjoy the fruits of that labor. But once I get into Rajas, it's not just running, but with some spiritual um, knowledge, some, because you're doing sadhana, you're started to do some states of either praying, meditating, um, doing these kind of rituals every day to help you get some divine guidance, as I said, in the form of subtle energy shifts or in the in the form of divine sakshatkara, where I am able to sense the divine beingness, or there is some signs the divine is showing me to go forward, not to go forward. So I starts to not completely get the muzzle to exactly do what she or he is guiding me, but I'm getting the sense that there is something beyond me that is trying to control this part. Maybe I need to surrender, maybe I need to trust, And to do that, I may have to do sadhana, I may have to, and I don't know everything. So that as I'm doing baby steps, the knowledge is not strong. So I fall down. I'm not taking everyday actions. Or I might sometimes get into this superiority complex. Pride sets in. All of this, I already done it up 1,000 times. I've done it already. I don't think anything new will happen if I take this path. So even again, I'm going off into Tamas. The moment I have an opening, I see things and then this I already know. हमने कर दिया ये सब. कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. Sure, stop it. Again, it's gonna get into a deadlock. छोड़ो. So that's something which is like I know, I already know part, or something which leads to greed. Acha, one it starts with uh, some starts working in what is in favorable to this new direction that I've been guided upon. Again I've started running. अच्छा ये वर्क हो रहा है. अच्छा चलो वो कहाँ कहाँ खो गया उसके उधर उधर ही हमको फुल वापस लेकर आना है. So there's no point in we'll use all those adages and say where I lost I have to get there. So I lost here. Okay, I'm gonna run again behind it to get there. Again, and again I'm running. I'm not trusting divine. I'm not surrendering again. So is that what divine wants you in the first place? If running is what can get you to success, and if that's what divine wants you, you don't have to get to this Kama state at all. You're already in the Sattva state because you already have total focus clarity on how to get there. The very element that's not there, or the complacency is sitting in, or the self confidence is not built in certain areas to take act upon. All of these are signs that it's not the way that things has to be done. So again, when we are going in this new direction, again you get to links because subconscious is super powerful. So it takes immense amount of trust and surrender to hold us to go back to the old ways which we are so used to, which just happens autopilot, and pull us and get into this. So the moment I start having uh, certain openings, I just think, oh, this is it. I think I don't have to now stop doing the sadhana anymore. I just got it. I think I have to, okay, Amma, I got it. I'm going to do like this. And I'll stop doing any of my spiritual practices, go back to running mode in search of greed. Whatever I lost, I had to get there. Whatever. This nature of being so in getting uh, mother will test, did he really get, is he grounded in the realities, is it really true that this boy really got the lesson, or this girl got this lesson. So she tests like how we write exams when you have to go from UKG to first grade, and then we show the signs of the old time and totally get lost into that stories of um, being deluded by greed, or other things that might also sit in as part of things. So we talked about Chamara, which is about having lack of focus, Utkara, having superiority complex, Mahahanu, which is deluded by greed, and shortcuts. Every shortcut I am taking to get there. Asiloma, again having selfishness and being in this path, I am not caring about others. It is my path. I. Again, that my I-ness, mine. This is something which is totally tamas. Ours, surrendering, being guided, looking for guidance is starting to leave that control, leave that ego, and allowing things to happen by means of ease and grace with divine grace. That journey is what is being guided in this. Then Bashkala, there is one more. He is looking at again wandering nature. So the moment I start focusing, I get into complacency. Again, I'll take a break. Then again, I'll bring myself to take action. And again, so the difference between Bashkala and Chamara is okay. Is Bashkala is something like I stop, I start, I stop, I start. And Chamara is something like I do in that part what I have to do. I will do what is comfortable for me, and what is not comfortable me, I resist. This is Chamara. Bashkala is fine. I will do things. I have to unlearn a lot of things and start learning new things in this new journey. I do things 2 days and I stop. So in our cases, we recite Durga Saptashati for 2 days, stop. Or any sadhana we start, stop. Or we do what parts is very favorable for us, like Argala Stotra, most of us do, and stop doing chapters because that's difficult to study. So these are all the things. Start spiritual practices journey parallel to any other goal you have outside in your day-to-day life. The nature is not different. The looking at comfort, the, avoiding discomfort, or doing 4 days, leaving 5 days, or doing 5 days or leaving 2 days. After doing for one particular day, you feel totally, this is not. I'm not, I can't do. All of this wandering nature is this Bashkala. And then the last two asuras we find in Devi Mahatmyam in the chapter 2 and 3 is Parivrarita and Bidala. So Parivarita is the Asura who wants everyone to follow him, who wants to get supported. So the moment I am little, now I cross these layers. Okay, see the order also. First I start with who? I start with Chikshara. Chikshara is somebody who have no knowledge. Then Chamara. Then I take actions slowly, slowly, slowly. But I take actions which are favorable to me and something which I feel is in comfort zone. Only those actions I take. And as I'm taking, I feel get to Udgara state where I feel, oh, I already know this. So Argala Stotram, after I read 4 times, I feel, I know, I'm super great in this. All right, all right. And then I get into, okay, let me be complacent at that state. Because I already know I don't have to read it again. So I'll stop reading. Or